Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.
Today we talk about what is right effort. Effort can be of two kinds, mechanical effort and conscious effort. Sacho Purusharth Sushma, right effort. So, what is right effort? What is conscious effort? Let us make a division. Supposing there is a farmer and he wants to make a well in his farm, and he digs a hole here and he digs a hole there and he digs a hole everywhere, and then there's no water. We go to the temple here, we go to the temple there, we do this puja, we do that puja, no water. No water. So he has to know where to dig, how to dig. So what is right effort? What is right effort? Sacho Prayas. We have been talking for so many days. What is right effort? Is it needed by life? Is it needed by life? જીવનની અંદર એની જરૂર છે? No. જરૂર નથી. We can live our lives. બધું ચાલશે. Everything will go on. But still, this is a different kind of effort which we have to make. Now, we go from one teaching to another teaching, one master or one guru to another guru, and we listen to so much, we do so many things. But in the end, where do we have to learn from? Where do we have to learn from? The right learning, where do we have to learn? Do we have to learn from a guru or somewhere else? Where do we learn from? From life. From life. In the end, life is the guru. In the end, life is the guru. Now, what is life? What is life? What is life? What is life?
What you experience, what you go through day to day.
Yeah, so what will we call it? A series of events. Life is a series of events. One moment we are in one event, and the other moment we are in the other event. So when I say that I have a problem, what am I saying? When I say I have a problem, what am I saying? I am in an event. I am in an event. Right? Very good. Okay. Now, to lead our normal life, we don't have to make any extra effort. We just lead our normal life. The events of life go on. But now, here in this sloka, Krishna is going to talk about a war. He's saying, okay, please fight. So, these events of life, so what is this extra effort we have to make to fight? What is this extra effort we have to make? These series of events. See, in the end, whatever we do, we may know the Gita by heart. We may have gone to teacher by teacher. We may know so many things. We may spend our whole day in the temple. When I went first to my guru, he told me a story. And he said that in Arabia, one person, he told his father that I want to I don't want your money, I want to find my own fortune. I want to find my own fortune. So his father said, then what do you want? You want to find your own fortune? So he said, give me one donkey. So he took one donkey and he went into the desert. And he was crossing the desert with the donkey, and on the way the donkey died. And he was very sad and he was crying, and he buried the donkey and he was putting a little flowers and some agarbattis on top and all that, and he was crying. And one caravan was passing by, and the people saw him and they said, oh, it looks like the grave of a great saint. So somebody kept some food, somebody kept some money, somebody put some flowers and all that. And this person, okay, he sat there and he took the money and he took the flowers. And then another caravan came by. And like that, 20 years passed and a huge ashram grew there with the big samadhi of the donkey as the master who had died. And everybody would give flowers and offerings, and there was a big saying, if you have an illness, you come and you pray to this samadhi and your illness will go and this will go. 20 years passed. 20 years passed, and his son said that, Father, I don't want any of your fortune. You please give me one donkey, I want to find my own fortune. So his father was shocked, I have all this. So he says, but you give me one donkey. So he took one donkey and he went again to find his fortune. Again in the desert, the donkey died. Again he was burying the donkey and one caravan came. Again they started giving money. And like that, 20 years passed and a huge ashram had grown over there. And then the father, he got the news that there is some other ashram where, you put a little money and you do a little puja and your diseases go away, and if you don't have money, you get money and all your problems are solved and all that. So I must go to see. So he went to see and he saw that his son was over there, as the big guru over there. So he asked his son that, how did all this happen? He said, nothing. When I was going through the desert, this donkey died on the way, and I was burying this donkey. And he said, 40 years ago, I also buried the donkey in the same way. This is what's happening everywhere. We do our mannats, we do our pujas. I don't know what we are doing. What is right effort? What is right effort? What is right effort? Life is the Guru, and life has come in front of us as an event. Now, real effort is doing something which life does not want us to do, so that we are not a slave of life, to do something totally different. And in the end, how we work with that event will decide everything, whether we have dug the well and got water or we have just dug a hole and got nothing. It is that event in life which will decide everything. So normal effort will not work. So normal effort is we may react in some way or something. Now what would be the first step we have to take? The first step on this inner war, what he's talking about. And just take the slope first. He's telling Arjun, please fight. Antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirina anashino prameyasya tasmadhyudya svabharata. अनाश्रहित अप्रमेय नित्य स्वरूप जीवात्माना आ सगड़ा शरीरो नाशवंत कहेवाय छे. माटे हे भारतवंशी अर्जुन, तू युद्ध कर. Please fight. Regarded as having termination of existence are these fleshy garments. Immutable, imperishable and limitless is the indwelling self. With this wisdom, O descendant of Bharata, battle now. So what is the first effort? Where do we make our first effort? Now the event is in front of us. The first thing, the first step, and this goes for every event in life, the first step. What is the first step? All these days we've been sitting together, so I'm taking the exam today. Right? What is the first step? First step is not to become, even before the reaction, because we can't stop the reaction. The reaction will come, and the mind will come, non-expression of negativity. Non-expression of negativity. I will not throw poison, whether on the event or on the person who is in front of me. No complaining. We started the first day, no complaining. Right? No complaining. That is the first step. I will not, I may become negative, but I will not express my negativity. I will not throw out my negativity. And this is a long fight, a very long fight, a big war which we have to wage within ourselves. And it can come incident by incident, event by event. Every time I take a flight, I take out a small insurance. And I have never read the rules of those insurance. It's just a habit. So, when I was coming here, I had to go from Porbandar to Bombay, Bombay to Cape Town. So the flight from Porbandar to Bombay was cancelled. So now the first thing is no negativity. Of course, there is the tension that you have to reach Cape Town. No negativity. Anyway, something happened and we went 200 kilometers to Rajkot. We got an evening flight and we came to Bombay. So everything is okay, fine. Good exercise in patience. Then here again I'm going back, so I had to take another ticket from Bombay to Porbandar. So I was just, by chance, I was reading the terms and conditions of the insurance. And it was written there, if the flight is cancelled, you can claim 20,000 rupees. I was shocked. So, I said lottery. So now the mind changes, then you're waiting for the flight to be cancelled. So, the events of life, one after the other, the events of life. My son came one day and he's telling me, in this paper I have got 0 out of 100. So I said, what happens? I mean, do you pass or do you go to the next grade or not? I got to understand. So he says, maybe I got to repeat a couple of months or something. So, but he says that in this exam, if I get even 7 marks out of 100, the same professor, then it's okay, then I go to the next grade. Now, he had jaundice, so he couldn't attend college for about 2 months. So I said that let's what to do about this jaundice, and so I went with him to give the exams. I was sitting in Nani, so I said, who is this professor who's given you 0 marks? So he said, this is the professor. So then he said that, but he's a terrible professor, nobody can talk to him. And he won't listen. I said, let's go. So we just went and knocked on his door. And then we sat down and we talked about this and we talked about that and we talked about everything except the studies. Right? And 1.5 hours passed. And the professor was very happy and this was very happy and everything. And he was very sure because of his jaundice he was going to get 0 again. When he came back from the paper, he got 20 out of 100. I see, he went to the professor. Right? So, the events of life. Sometimes we want to solve problems. But life, there's nothing to solve in life. Life is insoluble. We cannot solve. It's a mystery. Life. And the mystery can only be lived. It cannot be solved. Somebody was asking yesterday, why is this like that? It can't be solved. It's a mystery. A mystery has to be lived. It cannot. There is no answer to that question. Of the great Sufi masters, there is a threesome. They are called the 3 pillars of Sufism. One is Jalaluddin Rumi, one is Fariduddin Attar, and the other is Hakim Sanai. Hakim Sanai lived in a place called Ghazna in Afghanistan. And the Sultan of that was Behram Shah. And he was his sport poet, his best friend, everything. Hakim Sanai was everything. And he was a very, very famous poet. Not only in Afghanistan, but all over Persia and everywhere his fame had spread. And people used to come to listen to him, to study under him. And in every small thing, the Sultan took his advice. And the Sultan then, in those days, where, you want to have gold, there's only one place to go to get gold, loot for gold, and that is come to India. So the Sultan said that I want to take my army and invade India. So they started marching towards India. On the way they passed one ashram. Now the Sultan was a great lover of music and poetry. And in this ashram, suddenly he started hearing this music, and he had never heard music like that in his court before. It was so divine. So he went into the ashram, and there was a great Sufi master called Laikhur. And he goes to this master, and the master looks him in the eye, and he looks at those eyes, and he says he's never seen such eyes before. So the master says, let's have a feast at night. So they have a feast, and the Sufi master asks for wine. Now wine is forbidden in Islam. And the Sultan was shocked. How can this great saint be drinking wine? And then this Laikhur says that, okay, the first toast is to the blindness of the Sultan. And all his generals and armies, they get irritated. And say, how can this person call the Sultan blind? So they asked him, and he said, of course he's blind. He's going to India to plunder gold. He's going to come back a beggar. Even with all his gold, he's going to come back a beggar. But then he had one more toast. And he says, one more toast to Hakim Sanai, the blindness of Hakim Sanai. So all the army arose. Okay, come on, we understand the Sultan is greedy. He's greedy after gold. He wants more possessions in life. He's lustful. That is why he's going to India. But how can you say anything about Hakim Sanai? He lives a very ordinary life. There is no fault in his life, and you are saying he is also blind. And he looks Hakim Sanai in the eye, this Laikhur. And when he looks at Hakim Sanai in the eye, suddenly something happens. Now, the whole of Sufism, the whole process in Sufism is a gradual process of enlightenment. From reason and logic, they go to a space beyond logic and they go into the ultimate. It is not like Zen, where there is no logic, everything is irrational, there is just a jump. In Zen, there is just a jump. But in Sufism, it is step by step. Sufism is a way of the heart. Zen is the way of the mind. Even though in Zen, they love beauty, they love paintings, they love rivers, but in Zen, there is never any talk of the heart or love or anything. And that is why maybe because Zen flourished in China and Japan, there was a lot of cruelty in those people. Even now, they're very vicious people. And so he looks Hakim Sanai in the eye, and Hakim Sanai at that moment, which is totally new, it has never happened before in Sufism, at that moment he experiences enlightenment. He's woken up. And he tells the Sultan that I'm leaving you, I'm going to Makkah. To the Kaaba I'm going on a pilgrimage. He says, why do you want to go on a pilgrimage? He's saying, this person looked me in the eye, I woken up from the dream. I want everything to digest inside, it will take me time, that is why I'm going on the pilgrimage. So he went on the pilgrimage. And when he was coming back, he wrote a book, a small book, called Hadika, the walled garden of truth. That wall where that Lai Khatur used to live with in his ashram. And he comes back and he gives this book to, and that is one of the most beautiful books of Sufism. And there he says, by reason I came to his door, but when I dropped reason, it was his presence which brought me in. So, whatever we do, in the end, life is the ultimate teacher, the events of life. Listen. if we get hypnotized by the event in life, it could be anything. The plane is delayed, somebody has died, somebody has failed in the exam. There can be any kind of event. We may have lost money in business, it could be anything. The events of life come one after the other. If we are identified with that event, then we are just a slave of nature. We have just become a slave of life. Nothing has changed. In spite of all our prayers, all our pujas, nothing has changed, because when the event came, life hypnotized us, and that's the end of the matter. And the first step to be free from that avidya, that negativity, that ignorance, identification, is to not to be negative. Not to be. Now you've made a will that this hypnosis is forcing a negativity out of us. It is forcing something out of us, and we made a will that I want to separate from life. The first step is not to be negative about anything. See, even if we solve a problem, the very solution of the problem becomes a new problem. Say, I live in an ashram, right? So, in the ashram we do a lot of shram, everybody does a lot of shram. Now, just see that, okay, this is my, what do you call, spade, or what we call the kapadi, gatari, so I'm using it and I put it over here. Next day when I go there, it is not lying over there. And then I see that somebody else has taken it, and I fight with that person. Now, why did I come to the ashram? To be free of negativity. So, it is not where you are that matters. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere to look for spirituality. The minute you look for it, gone. It's right there in front of us. Any kind of negativity is violence. Any kind of negativity is violence. Whether it is jealousy, whether it is complaining, whatever it is. So this is the war which we want to fight within ourselves. He's saying, O descendant of Bharat, fight. O descendant of Bharat, fight. Now the minute we don't become negative, we allow our consciousness to expand. We want to find out why we have become negative. What was the cause in becoming negative? What was the cause in becoming negative? Now, you see, usually we are so immersed in life. In all the events of life, we are so immersed that we have no time to even think about these ideas which we are exchanging just now. And a point has to come in our lives where we are not satisfied with the goodness of everything. We are not satisfied with everything we have. Only then will we take this step. If we are satisfied, oh no, I'm very happy with my money and seeing the movies at night and whatever life I'm living, or maybe going for a musical concert, I don't know. I'm just happy with all that, then I'm not going to take this step. There must be discontent inside. This divine discontent must be there. You must feel unsatisfied inside. And then, I want to be free of this. Right? So the first step is non-expression of negativity. The second is, where does that negativity come from? That is, now someone has upset me very deeply, but I have not thrown any negativity on him, but I am saying that definitely I'm still upset within myself. Now what do we do? Now where do we find the cause of this upsetness? Where is the cause? Don't just say self-love, huh? Don't just say self-love. With every instance of negativity, self-love is there. Self-love is there. But there is something else over there. Something that is being hurt, something that is being broken, See, all inner development is nothing but the war against negativity. The war against negativity. What leads us to be negative? What makes us negative? See, if a person has really woken up from the dream of life, he cannot be negative. But if a little coffee spills on his shirt and he gets upset, then all this philosophy has no meaning. Right? So, that's, how much can we, what capacity do we have of taking other people's unpleasantness and negativity? At what point will we break? What point will we break? He's saying in this, Dhiras tatra na muyati. Dhiraj. At what point will we break? I keep on calling you names, I keep on calling you this. What will you say? Even Krishna broke after 100? Huh? No, but that is something else. That is something else. Right? So, what is our capacity to absorb other people's negativity, other people's unpleasantness? Other people can be very unpleasant. They don't even know about it. You go to their home and it's just a question of whether you want the dal. But they just say, dal. It can be done in a very unpleasant way. Right? How much can we absorb without getting negative inside, without reacting inside? This is the test. This is the test. And that level of absorption rises and rises, and a point comes where nothing can touch us, however much. So what is the cause of that negativity? We have to expand inside. Where has that negativity come from? And we are going to see something inside. What can that be? What will that be? Something we are going to see inside. Now we are looking inside. You have hurt me deeply, or my plane has been delayed, my son has failed in the exam. Right? These are all the normal incidents of life. Or maybe you've given a sari to the dhobi and he's made some mistake in the iron and made a big hole in it. I don't know. Right? It happens. Right? It could be almost your best sari. Best sari. So these are the normal incidents in life. And from these incidents, we want to wake up from the dream of life. And these incidents are our guru. These incidents are our guru, these events of life, these normal events. Now, first thing we took, we did not become negative, but we are definitely negative inside. So we say, now, what is it? What is it? Right? Attachment. But before that, before we go into attachment, something. That is, I learn to accept I'm not negative. But definitely inside I am negative. I am boiling inside. He's made a hole in the sari. Right? Okay. No, all this is ego.
I've tried. See, but we're so negative inside that we need to exercise some self-control.
Okay, we've exercised the self-control. We have not got angry on him. We have accepted that. Right? Now where do we go? From this point, where do we go? From this is one event in our life, and from this event we want moksha, freedom. From this one event. This is all we are going to get. This is all we are going to get. What is the next step?
Reflection.
Huh?
Reflection.
Reflection in which way? In that reflection, what will we do? We are burning inside.
Seek an explanation.
No, then we are seeking a solution. I'm giving you a hint, we are burning inside.
Could you experience the feeling, the emotional body, so you experiencing that rise above it, to be aware of that?
Where is this fire directed? Even though I am burning inside, whom is it directed at? Whom is it directed at? If the plane is late, it's directed at the airline company. Right? If the plane is delayed, it's directed at the airline company. If you have hurt me, then it is directed at you. If the professor has failed me, it is directed at the professor. Am I coming across? Right? The fire is there, but it is burning in the wrong direction. It is burning in the wrong direction. Now we want to change the direction of the fire. We want to change the direction. What will happen? I'm just taking my exam today. All this I have said already. This is my last day. Right? Maybe I'm not taking an exam, but I'm, revising it for myself. Right?
Nature doesn't get that energy, so then you go into a higher state, because then you can direct that energy elsewhere.
Yeah, we want to direct that fire. Right? So if we find a solution, the fire won't remain. Right? Or if we use some thinking, then the fire will calm down. We just want to change the direction of the fire from you or the airline to the professor, or to the hole in the road which gave us a puncture, whatever. Right? We want to direct that fire to something else, because the fire has been created. The river is in flood. Now is the creation of electricity, hydroelectricity. So what will we reflect on? You said use the word reflect. What will we reflect on? The end of the thing. No. I want to find out the cause, why I became negative. I know the only thing that is hypnotizing me in life is negativity. The day I am free from negativity, I have broken up. I have broken the spell of life. I have woken up from life. Right? So, what do I reflect upon? I'm going into the cause. I'm going into the cause. And what do I see over there? What do I see over there? Supposing I have hurt myself, then what do I see?
Is it yourself?
Yeah, I've hurt. I'm feeling hurt. Right? So
you reflect on yourself?
Right, you reflect on the self, but what do you find over there? What do you find? You're right. Now you've changed the direction of the fire from the person who has hurt me to myself. We are changing the direction of the fire. So now the fire is not wasted, it has become the energy of tap. The energy of tap. Now we take incident by incident. So we know where we are standing. Now I have felt hurt Where do I direct it exactly? To myself, but what burns in that fire? What has to burn in that fire? Don't say ego. Everything is ego. Don't say ego. More specific. Now the cause of the negativity. You have hurt me. You have hurt me. We are taking incident by incident. You have hurt me. Or insulted me. Right? Or something of that sort. Or you have put me down in front of so many people. So, or the wife is telling the husband, okay, you want to tell me in private, but in front of everybody you tell me, I won't take it. Right?
Your weakness or your insecurity.
Yeah, I'm trying to say something. It is a picture I have of myself. It is a picture I have of myself. It's a self-image. It is a part of self-image. But it is a specific picture. It is a specific picture. Supposing you say, you're a useless lecturer, and I feel hurt. Now the fire is inside. Where do I direct this fire? So I direct it to the imaginary picture which I have created of myself, that I am a good lecturer. It is a part of the ego. You get it? Right. So this is my own picture, my own photograph of myself which I've fallen in love with. I'm a very good. That is self-love. I've fallen in love with it. And at that time I should allow that picture to burn. Okay, now supposing the plane is delayed. What else can we reflect upon? What else can we reflect upon? Supposing I've learned to do this, I've learned this, then what else can I reflect upon? Is that in normal instances I don't have heat, but because she insulted me, heat was created. Now, suddenly the yagna has been lit. And now I'm directing the yagna to the right place. I'm trying to burn that picture. And what will happen if the picture burns? What will happen if the picture burns? If it really burns, then tomorrow anybody says anything, it will not affect me at all, because that very picture I had of myself, I'm free of it. I'm free of it. This is freedom. Moksha. Now, that picture was a product of imagination. It was a product of imagination. And how many imaginary pictures do we have of ourselves? Supposing I call you a liar. I call you a liar. Do you feel hurt? You feel hurt. That means you have a picture of yourself that I do not lie. Which is totally wrong. It is all imaginary. Because we lie all the time. We lie all the time. Also I say you are not trustworthy. Sukhe Gujarati ma, te mane dago aayo. Right? In this sloka, supposing we take this one thing, right? You're not trustworthy. You threw a knife in my back. Right? What does it mean in relation to this sloka over here? We are looking for something to be constant where it is not possible. The pendulums in the mind change. Today I may like you, but tomorrow I may not. The pendulum has changed. That very like which I have for you is based on a hate inside. Only I can't see it. Everything is supported by its opposite. And the pendulum has just swung in the other direction. But we feel so hurt. Okay, till today he was my friend. And how can he leave me? And how can he now say such things about me? But the pendulum has swung to the other direction. So, it is these small incidents in life which will bring us freedom. And here he is talking. Sloka. Antavanta ime deha. However much you feel, the body is going to end. But the dehi, the one who is occupying the body, because now we can't feel him. He is bound up in this, all these pictures which we have of ourselves. Until we are free of those pictures. See, this is a kind of disease. Now these pictures will be of different kinds. This conditioning will be of different kinds. It's like small diseases, big diseases and bigger diseases. So small diseases, you take a small pill and it's over. But if I've got diabetes, then I have to take a pill every day. Right? And some diseases are terrible, like cancer, they could be terrible. Right? Similarly, these are psychic diseases, different stages of psychic diseases. These are small pictures we have of ourselves. You take immediately you look at them, you're free of the picture. You look at it, you're free of the picture. But if it is diabetes in the psychic nature, then you will have to take the pill every day, it will repeat. Every day it will repeat. So we have to go deeper into ourselves. Now what else is there? What kind of that board we had put yesterday? Okay, I'll start by layer. The first layer is moods. What is a mood? It's like getting a cold. I've got a cold or I got a cough. I'm in a bad mood. Right? The body has got a cough. Dehi nosmin asman yatha dehe. So what is a mood? What is a mood?
State of mind.
Yeah, so what is it? In the mind, what is it? What is it? I'm in a bad mood. I've been caught up in a dark room. I've been caught up in a dark room. So, at least that much will I should have to get out of the dark room and go into a room of light. So, first we see the pictures, these small pictures which come, and we have many pictures. If you are a doctor, you have a picture of yourself as a doctor. If you are a father, you have a picture of yourself as a father. If you are whatever, shopkeeper or a driver of a car, and if somebody else, so just imagine when we are driving the car and the wife is driving the car. Do we have a picture of ourselves as a better driver? That's all that has to be done. This is all we have to work on. And this inner monkey starts. Of course, we can't tell it to the wife loudly, so we correct it inside of ourselves. The first day I came, you were asking me what is the path and what is the way. It's so simple. So simple. Every moment the way is in front of us, every moment. So these small pictures we have. Everything. If I'm going to college, I'm a good student. And if there's a good girl in my class, she better look at me and at no one else. And all these pictures we have of ourselves. All these pictures. And these small pictures, they come up like small coughs and colds and then little beyond that, suddenly we find a whole world of contradictions. What is this? What is this? What is this world of contradictions? I gave one example yesterday. What is this world of contradictions? Supposing I have lost money in business, what do I say? What do I say? Just see the contradiction. Huh? Suppose I have lost money in business, what do I say? Bad luck, or just put it a little better. The Gujarati way of saying it. Gujarati don't say bad luck. The Gujarati way. Any ઈચ્છા હતી? તેમાં આપણે શું કરીએ? Right? Can you see the contradiction? If I had made money, I would not have said any ઈચ્છા હતી. I would have put in my thumb and pulled out a plum and said, what a good boy am I. Can we see these contradictions? The mind is full of contradictions. It was destiny. It was destiny. It was destiny. You should have sat at home and not tried to earn money in the first place. So, the second thing is we are full of all kinds of contradictions inside. We can't see these contradictions, and we are very lucky we can't see them, otherwise we go mad. Gurdjieff has a name for these contradictions. He calls them buffers. Buffers. Like the train has a buffer, so you don't feel the jerk between the two compartments. It's called a buffer. Similarly, I say, it was in my destiny to use money, so I don't feel the jerk, the responsibility of what I have done. In every small thing, in all our relations, we go and say sorry. What is sorry? Is it just a, what do you call, license to do it again? Can we really repent? Can we really repent? We don't repent. This is all these buffers. We are full of this whole layer of contradictions inside. We say we want freedom. So all this we have to fight with. He's saying, get up and fight. How will we be free of this? We don't feel anything. The minute we say, okay, I lost the money, it was God's will that I lost the money, that's the end of all the burning inside, all the fire is gone. I go back to sleep in life. I go and tell sorry to her, or I said this to you, but I said, but I'm not like that all the time. It was just that one instance. And I believe it also, this picture, that I'm not like that all the time. Can you see these pictures? Below those pictures, all these contradictions in the mind. And below that is habits. So this is the journey. When we are negative, we have stopped the negativity. Then we move to the picture. Below the picture, we come to the contradictions of why this action. Habits. Habits. What is a habit? Is saying sorry a habit? Is saying sorry a habit? It is a habit. Usually I make a rule that if you want to say sorry, say after 2-3 days. Don't say sorry immediately. Hold that fire inside, that urge to go and mend things with that person. Don't say sorry immediately. Hold that fire inside. That fire can change everything. Habits. Let us go a little bit into habits. Can we see that this negativity which was coming up, today is a very hot day, or today is a rainy day, or I hate this, or I don't like? Is it all coming about from a set of patterns inside of me which are habits? It's automatic. It's automatic. Can we break those habits? They're change. They're change. Whether it is emotional habits, whether it is intellectual habits, habits of the moving center, where do they come from? The habits of the moving center, where do they come from? The child imitates the parents. Child imitates the parents, he imitates those around him. And those habits start coming in the moving center. Then emotional habits. We see how our mother and father relate to each other, and emotional habits grow out of them. And we see the father telling the mother all the time, "Oh, darling this, darling that," and we know it's all nonsense, right? And we learn all the cunning ways of life. So this whole, and beyond that is attitudes. Beyond that is attitudes. And attitudes are absolutely automatic. Absolutely. How are habits formed? What is the process? They go through a process of repetition. And to break the habits, you have to make a new process of repetition. Keep on after it. Keep on. And finally we come to a layer called attitudes, which is the deepest layer. What is an attitude? See, can you imagine that I'm sleeping and life is coming in events and I have this set of machines around me. Whichever event comes, it automatically presses the button and it gives the reply. So, life comes event by event and these machines, these are nothing but attitudes. I don't have to do anything. I'm sleeping in deep sleep. These attitudes live for me. We are not doing anything. Everything in life, all my likes, all my dislikes, everything is decided by an attitude inside. And we love these attitudes. I meet someone and say, "Oh, I love the blue color." I know it's an attitude speaking inside. And when we talk about those attitudes, we talk about them as if they're something so big, you know. I hate brinjals. Can you see all our likes and dislikes are born out of attitudes? And don't think these attitudes are very, very deep. Very, very deep. Even the Goswami, Tulsidas, he said, "I will not bow down to a statue of Krishna. If he comes with a Dhanushman, then I'll bow down to him." Can you see where these attitudes are coming from? How deep they are. How deep they are. Requires a lot of work. And we are going to do this. This I'm just giving you a trailer. With God's grace, if in the next couple of years we can work together, then we are going to go through this whole thing together. For the first time, I have got a group which is doing the phase exercises out of India. I've taught it to one person in London or here or there, but I've never had a group of so many people doing it together. So I don't know, I just felt that it was something from some indication. And so somehow I feel that maybe this is the beginning of a journey which we are going to do together. And there is no place for complacency. I'm not going to praise you all and This is it. Attitudes is the most difficult thing to work with. Attitudes. Every moment we are in one attitude or the other. Every moment. So it's going to be years of hard work. Now, what is the cancer? What is cancer? No, I'm talking about psychic cancer. We came up to diabetes. Now we are going below the attitudes. And there's something over there which goes right down to the Atma. Aprad bhav. What do we call it? Self-pity. Self-pity. Aprad bhav. Self-pity. Guilt. Aprad. Guilt. Guilt. What is guilt? What is guilt? To feel guilty. What does it mean to feel guilty? Not to repent. Repentance is the positive way. To feel guilty is something different. A person who is lazy, who does not want to repent, feels guilty. It is an excuse. So, guilt. We must work on guilt. So, all this journey in this, Krishna is taking us through all these slok by slok, through this journey of different. So we just go through them one by one. The first thing he says is on the surface. Nanu sochanti pandita. Nanu sochanti pandita. Sorry, self-pity and guilt I mixed up. Self-pity and guilt I mixed up. So I'll just come to that. The first one, the 11th, when he starts giving Arjuna, first he says, Nanu sochanti, the Pandit, the one who is the Pandit, he does not have any guilt. If it happened, it happened. It's mechanical, it happened, rise above it. But don't have any guilt, repent. So first he says Pandit. Second he says, Dehi asmin yatha dehi. There are two things, the Dehi and the Deha. The physical body, Deha, something is occupying the physical body. Similarly, the essence is the Dehi, the personality is the Deha. We've talked about essence and personality, right? So at two levels we are going to see this, the body and the consciousness which is in the body. Again, within the, he's not talking about many bodies over here, he'll talk about it later, but he's just giving us a sort of, there are two things, the Dehi, the one who occupies the body, and the Deha, the body. The body will slowly move from physical to subtle, and slowly what will be left at the end will be the Dehi. And he's going to take us on that journey, right? Okay. Then he says, Matra Sparshasthu. Come to the present moment. All the matras, the feeling of the matras are in the present moment. So he says, come to the present moment. Come to the fact. Come to the fact. We are always daydreaming. Always daydreaming, leakages of energy. So he says, come to the present moment. Matra Sparshasthu Kaunteya. So if you have hurt me, what do? I start feeling the pain inside. Matra Sparshasthu Kaunteya. I start feeling the pain inside. I don't say, I will do this to him and I will show him in this way, then I am daydreaming. You get what I'm trying to say? I immediately come down to the present moment. First of all, I don't grieve about it. Namu sochanti panditaha. Then I say that there is some, whatever hurt has been felt is by a deha. There is something which is beyond the deha, the dehi, which cannot be affected. But I come to the present moment, I say, I start with this, I want to feel what is happening here, I want to feel the fire, what to do with the fire. I come down to that. Then he says, in that same sloka he says, Tan titikshasva konteya. Titiksha, the Shakti of Titiksha, patience. Tan titikshasva konteya. And then he says, Tattva dharshini. Tattva dharshini. The one who can see the Tattva. Which Tattva? That Tattva. Right? And when he can see that Tattva, suddenly everything becomes clear to him that what he has to work upon and what he wants. Right? So finally we'll come back to that fire. That fire. What happens in that fire? What burns away in that fire? The picture is burnt. What burns in that fire? What is happening? Remember that board yesterday. So we want to come to the final moment of our awakening. What is burning in that fire?
I think it's that disease state. It's wrong, but it's pushing that all the disease that we have.
Yeah, psychic disease.
Yes.
Psychic disease. Okay. Now, when we talked about soul, what is the soul? Yesterday we talked about soul. What is the soul? Ray of light plus planetary substance. Right. And that planetary substance has taken on a particular pattern which it should not, which is called anger. Right? And that anger has come out into the conscious mind. It has come out in the conscious mind. And what is with that anger? The light. In that pattern of anger, the nucleus is the ray of light of the soul. Has this been clear to everyone? So, you have hurt me. I am angry. Now I have not expressed that anger. I have gone in, I have reflected on everything, where this anger has come from. I have held the heat over there, and now what is burning in that heat? That pattern of anger. That pattern of anger. And what is the nucleus in that pattern of anger? The light. So the minute that anger burns away, what is free of the anger? That light, and that is the light of the soul, the Atma. So just by one incident, if we can work on only one incident in life, we will understand everything there is to be understood. That is why life is the greatest teacher. If we get right use of that heat, put it in the right place, the pattern burns away, and that the person who was trapped in the pattern, who was in the jail, the bars have burned away, and the person who was trapped in that way is suddenly free. And he experiences this moment of awakening. He is lifted up out of that. This we can do just living our normal life. No other practices. Of course, you must do the breathing. You know, even my teacher, he never called himself a guru. He never allowed anybody to touch his feet. We were just friends. I never sat on the floor with him. We talked any nonsense. And it was such a wonderful relationship. And he always said, open your mind, be broad-minded. And for many years I was teaching these exercises. And a point came when I suddenly realized that whatever it is life. And this is what the Guru wants. He wants the student to wake up and find his own path. He doesn't want him to repeat everything which the Guru says like a parrot. And when I started saying that you may be doing the rhythmic breathing, but if you are still getting angry every moment, there is no point. And people who were with me, with the Guru, they started feeling that I am going against the teaching. They said, how can you say something like that? This is sacrilegious. If you're doing these practices, those practices must transform normal events of life. If they can't transform that, you're just the same person, then what is the use of doing the practices? If you are going to Kirtan, if you are going to this, but every day if you are going to still get irritated, what is the point of doing all the pujas and the Kirtan? There's no meaning. And this is what I was trying to tell them. And there was a kind of breakaway, a small group just broke away. They said that we are not with you. So, okay, whatever life takes me, wherever I go. This is what happened. And I realized it from inside that this is, the teacher is telling me, walk on your feet. And he was happy that somebody is at least walking on his feet, not repeating everything he says like a parrot. So, in the end, it is the normal events of our daily life. And if we can wake up in those normal events, then we'll understand everything. Life is the greatest teacher. That does not mean I'm saying anything against my Guru. I love him much more. But people interpret in different ways. We can only see what we want to see. So, this is it. So, given this to you, with God's grace, maybe we'll meet after a year. And that's 365 days. So we are meeting for 3-4 days. So I thought this is last day. That is why I took this. I said that. So anyway, we'll meet for 3 more days. That doesn't matter. But please practice. Please practice. Do the exercises in the morning. But practice moment to moment, from morning to evening. And initially there is a little bit of effort involved. A point will come where suddenly everything will start working on its own, and then the practice will give a joy of its own. Then if somebody insults us, there will be so much of joy. You will say, hey, what a wonderful movie, the villain is playing his part so well. And if the sun is crying, the whole thing will take on a different, absolutely different. And then there will be joy in every moment in life. And that joy will be of nothing but finding our own self, that we are not a part of this. Everything is just a day, the events of life, everything is a day, but the Dehi is totally free of all this. Totally free. And moment to moment we will experience this and live this. Then what we have to achieve is not something in the future somewhere. It is now, in this moment. We have it. So that's why I wanted to just take a step by step today. It's a very, talking about attitudes is a very big subject. Habits is even a bigger subject. But I just said I'll take you step by step. That when we look, the picture, burn the picture was born out of a habit, burn the chains of habit. Somewhere deep down there's an attitude. See that attitude, be free of it. And that's it. Freedom. Any questions? Yeah.
Is belief the same as attitude? Your belief system. So.
No, I won't call it the same. We're just talking. I'm not the guru or anything, right? But supposing I've given you a few ideas, and those ideas appeal to you. So you say you believe in these ideas. They may not be your experience just now, right? But an attitude would be something totally different. It will be something which will come on very automatically, very, very automatically. Right? Supposing this is a black color, and you have an idea, an attitude inside that you cannot wear black color in a temple. So the minute you see the black lines over here, you will get a dislike inside. That is an attitude. Right? Now, say my teacher told me that if you are doing the Gayatri Mantra, you must wear socks. You cannot move about without socks. So, supposing in the morning I see people coming for the exercises and I see somebody without socks, we immediately have to become aware inside that an attitude is not born out of what my teacher has told me. So, these attitudes, they work very fast. Right? Or I may have an attitude to something my son is doing. Right? Now, he may be, studying till 1 or 2 in the night, or maybe eating his dinner at 1 in the night because they're studying and doing all that nonsense what they're doing, right? And we have an attitude where to study you get up at 4 in the morning, you don't study till 1 in the night. How can you have dinner at 1 in the night? So immediately it just comes out like that. This is an attitude born in childhood, or born in whatever boarding school I was brought up in, or whatever. It's formed over there. Right? So all these attitudes are lying within us. We have attitude for clothes, we have attitude for food, we have attitude for customs, we have attitude for movies. You may like some very, those melodramatic serials where everybody is crying and all that. Right? And then I get an attitude. So, all these attitudes are lying within us. And they just come on, we don't have to be conscious at all. It's like switching on the switch and they live life for us. A multitude of attitudes inside. And it goes on so easily.
Is fear also an attitude? Fear. That's also an attitude.
Fear is not an attitude. But worrying could become an attitude. We may just have formed an attitude to worry about everything.
So what is fear then?
Fear is one of the basic weaknesses which is lying within us. And the problem is that fear was given to man to protect himself. Because at a certain stage he used to live in caves and there were wild animals, so there was instinctive fear. And that fear has become now psychological fear. There's this movement of from today to tomorrow. And there's tension about what is going to happen. A very good way of getting over this is block your right nostril from 1 to 4 in the afternoon for 1 year. Anybody's got cotton over here? Piece of cotton? See, between 1 and 4, the earth throws out some very, very powerful pranas, which create a lot of problems within us, right from irritation, fear, heat, blood pressure, menstrual problems, headaches, migraines.
Is that not a worry?
afternoon, 1 to 4 in the afternoon. The earth throws out this prana. And if that prana is taken in the wrong way, it creates all these disturbances within us. So I'll just give you an artificial way of, you block the right nostril 1 to 4 in the afternoon. If you can do it for a year, you free out. I used to get terrible migraines. So one day my teacher was making labels for the medicine. So he's saying, what is wrong with you? I said, it's a headache. So he took out a cotton, he said, put it in your right nostril. After 10 minutes he asked me, you still got the headache? I said, oh, no headache. And 1 year I did it, they gone. So, it's a simple thing. Take a cotton like this, open it out, wrap it, put it round, and put it in the right nostril. Don't twist it. Put it in. Check, the breath has stopped. So now the left is working. And put it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, take it out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't, if it gets wet, if it gets wet, and we are holding on to a lot of stuff inside, we are holding on, so it is bound to get wet, because all that will start coming out, then it will shrink, so take it out and put a new one, 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? The only rule is you cannot sleep. So if you want to take an afternoon nap, you can sleep on the sofa with your legs in front of you like this, but you can't sleep like this because your right nostril is blocked. So you can't sleep. But if you want, you can sleep on the sofa. Watching the TV, you can go to sleep. Right? With legs in front of you. And do this for 1 year. Within 3 months, all the fear will go away. All the sensitiveness which you're holding on into inside will go away. Understanding will come of life. Patience will come inside. All problems of heat will go away. I'm getting hot flushes, I'm getting this, I'm getting that. It will all go away. Right? All women problems of excess bleeding, this, that. Right? So it's a very good thing to do. Do it for 1 year. All this is because of the Manipur chakra. So this will calm the Manipur chakra. Manipur is where the fear is. It will calm the Manipur chakra. And over a period of time, it will open up another chakra next to the Manipur, which is called Kundali. Right? And Kundali chakra, there is no reaction in that chakra. In the Manipur, there is always reaction. So if you say something, I react. But once the Manipur calms down, then there is no reaction in that. Right? So, in scientific, we will call afferent impulse and efferent impulse. So afferent is, I see you. Efferent is, I get angry on you, the reaction. But when the Kundali chakra opens, the afferent impulse comes in, but it doesn't go to the Manipura, it goes to the Kundali. The Kundali puts a pause over there, so I cannot react. And then I allow consciousness to come in. So this is a very good thing which we can. The earth throws out terrible pranas. It's very, very powerful between 1 and 4 in the afternoon, in the atmosphere. Most of the diseases are caused by that prana. So if we balance it, and don't read any books. Somebody will ask me that if the right is blocked, how can we eat our food and all? Don't go into all that nonsense. Don't worry about all that. Just do it.
You've referred to habits and attitudes, but we have made a judgment about it. They could be positive or negative. Are we contained in positive and negative and just switching one to the other and trying to keep them in some sort of balance? What are we doing with habits and attitudes?
It's not so easy because to break a habit, we'll have to form another habit. Right? The Pandavas were 12 years in the Vanvas. So they were making good habits to break the bad habits. Right? So we have to form good habits to break the bad habits. But then we also have to leave the good habits. Because waking up is freedom from habit. Waking up. Once we have experienced the waking up, we can use whatever habits are needed in our normal life. But at one point we have to wake up from all habits. So what happens in, they have created this 7 Akshoni Sena, all the good habits to fight against the bad habits. But in the end, after the war, the 5 Pandavas, Satyaki and Krishna, that's all. The rest of all, even the very good habits, were killed in their sleep by Ashwatthama. He goes in the night and he kills everyone, because then now nothing is needed. So there are good habits and there are bad habits. To get rid of the bad habits, we form a good habit. And that is consciously formed. So there is a consciousness behind it when we are creating the habit. So that can be done. And then we have to, but attitudes is something much deeper. It is automatic. There is no positive in attitude. It's just a fast thing which happens. So we want to be free of all attitudes. There's one more thing I could tell you. That when you wake up in the morning and you go to the bathroom, take a mug of really hot water. Take a rough napkin, dip it in the water, and this area. So you start from here, right, this corner over here, and you go in small clockwise circles, press hard, small clockwise circles, slowly move up. Now say here, this rib cage is here, so go under the rib cage, go here. Only place where you are not supposed to go is right on the navel. Go round the navel, but don't go on the navel. Every time this gets a little cold, again dip it in the hot water. Go in here, in between the rib cage. Go here, into the solar plexus, here. Right in here, down in here, down, and take, this is one big circle in which there have been many small circles, right? Do 3 rounds every morning. It will take some time. In 3 weeks, half your fear will go. Half of the fear will go. And this whole area will relax. And when this area is relaxed, we feel so good. It's as if we are at peace with ourselves. So there is another thing we could do also.
People who are habitually negative, is there a cure for them?
Right nostril. They're very good people.
No, they're very good people.
No, I'm not talking that way, for us. Somebody asked Ramdullah about कि अहंकार ने केम तोड़ो? अहंकार ने केम तोड़ो? How to break the ego? How to get rid of the ego? So he said, मोटा अहंकारी पासे जाइए रेयो. So if somebody is very, very negative, very good, the fire comes free of charge. Comes free of charge. It's the best state to be, to have somebody with us, a friend who is very negative. So we are meeting 3 more days. 3 more. 4. Yes, sir.
Okay, you explained this morning, Rajan, if you can just explain the Like at one stage, Guruji also said it's going to change the Rekha or something as you keep on doing it.
See, whether to do this or not to do this, right? So you just hold your hands tight, concentrate, bring it to a state where there's a lot of pain, you're holding it, and then just release it. And when you release it, see, this light is not possible, just see the patterns. And you will feel either uplifted or you will feel down. And that will tell you whether to do this or not to do this. The patterns will give you a feeling of like or dislike. It will immediately tell you what to do.
You can do it anytime.
Anytime. Right? Oh, sorry.
Since nobody else seems to be wanting to ask a question, I'll pose another question. Sometimes in discussions with colleagues, it's been said that in terms of Vedic thought, there are two traditions that seem to have emerged. The one that I think we tend to, which has the biggest following, it seems, is the
Sanatana Arya Samana.
The one that seems to have the most attraction is the Sanatana Dharma. That's the explanation that we presented. An alternative or a complementary tradition they claim is to be the Arya Samajic tradition. Is this a correct interpretation of the development of Vedic thought? And if so, what are the essential characteristics of the two traditions?
See, I really don't know. When you use the word Sanatana Dharma, I really don't know what it is, because I am hearing it for the first time. So I don't know. The Arya Samaj was started by Swami Dayananda, and I'm not very well versed with his thing, but I know that he did rebel but it was more rebelling against certain social attitudes of that time. From what I feel, this is my view, is the Vedas and the Upanishads. Right? They contain truth. And truth is multi-dimensional. It can be seen from many angles. Maybe an angle called Sanatana Dharma sees it in this way, and maybe another Arya Samaj sees it in this way. Each one must have the graciousness to say, okay, truth is multi-dimensional. Right? But the science which leads up to that truth cannot change. Right? The truth will be multi-dimensional. But the science about it can only be put in a square plus b square has to be a plus b, a minus b. It cannot change for anyone. Right? So, that will not change. The interpretation of the science may change. Somebody may try to give it a modern interpretation. Somebody may try to interpret it in the orthodox tradition. Somebody may try to give it an angle of morality. Right? But in the end, the science will not change. The truth will not change, but the truth is so powerful that it has many angles. It is which angle you see the truth from. So, And usually there are very small differences in those angles. But what happens is that the person who has seen it, he's one thing, but then his disciples, they say that what he has seen is true and what everybody else has seen is not true. Because they have not seen it. And that is where the problem comes in. I really don't know, when you refer to Sanatana Dharma, I don't know what. For me, Dharma is just one thing. Either the path of involution and the path of evolution. In this moment, if I evolve, it is Dharma. And in this moment, if I get hypnotized in life, it is Adharma. So everything is in this moment. And that is the Sanatana Dharma. So, but many times this has a lot of connotations with the society and, all that. Then the pure value of spirituality is lost. I don't know, but this is what I personally. So I have always tried to just break down everything into the pure science of it. No judgment of whether it is right or wrong or this or that. Just break it down into the pure. If Christ said this, then there is a science involved in that. If Zen is saying this, then there is a science involved in that. If the Sufis are saying this, then there is. Right? And suddenly we see how each one saw that truth from different perspectives. And many times the perspective, even after seeing the truth, the perspective still remains, social, in the sense it has a conditioning of the social place from where that person came. And so when Christ is describing the truth, there is a part of it is the pure truth, but still there is that conditioning of being born in a Jewish household and the people whom he was talking to and all that. So that goes into the way he is explaining the truth. The people of the Upanishads, the gurus, they had their disciples sitting there right in front of them. So they are talking from a different perspective. And those disciples have been trained through many years. So they can say some things very easily which somebody else cannot say. So we have to take all that into account. But in the end, truth is so multi-dimensional that everyone who sees it, he'll see as if it's from his way, he's seeing it for the first time. And still it is truth. So, but we can't, but it's good to put down things, some basic concepts which can work as textbooks. And one thing about the Vedic philosophy should not be lost. It's a very precious thing. And that is, so these organizations do fulfill that purpose. You see, they are holding on to this thing in whichever form, but at least the person whose eyes are open, that is available for him. It should not be lost forever.
Rajan said that certain basic concepts should be put down. Where would one get those? Because I'm just thinking of my elder brother. He leans towards Arya Samaj, and I think that he doesn't believe too much in the certain customs and traditions that we follow. And because he explains it to me, and I can see why he believes that. But for us to sort of get this, where do we go to? Where do we find it? And if the traditions and customs are made, who made them and who wrote them? Because there are a lot of traditions and customs and rituals that we do. It doesn't make much sense to me at times.
We can come to some basic concepts, that forget all religions, but it would be nice to calm the mind. Supposing there is a Shakti in the mind called Dharana. Dharana we are using just because Patanjali gave it that name. But the power of holding. So we would like our children to develop that Shakti. I'm talking about basic concepts in this way. Now this will be common whether he's Arya Samaj or of any religion. These basic things would be common to everyone. I mean, a Christian cannot say in our religion we don't want to calm the mind. Or when Christ has said love thy neighbor, he's not going to say that we don't want to, we are allowed to express negativity or get angry on anybody we want. So what I'm saying, just some basic concepts are common to everything, which have no label of any religion. They're just pure science of the body, pure science of the psyche, and something beyond. That can be done. And if it can be introduced in the curriculum of children, it's a simple thing. If I'm breathing chaotic, then I'm thinking chaotic. But if I'm breathing in rhythm, then the thinking comes in rhythm. Now, this has nothing to do with religion. It's nothing to do with religion. Right? So, these simple concepts I'm talking about. And if we can just put them down, that that in school maybe we have a period for this. Like in the camps I teach the children. Right? The power of holding, the power of visualization. All this comes in Dharana Shakti. So, and it's nothing negative, they're not going to lose anything. But maybe some other vision will open up. It's all. But what has happened now is that the rituals have remained. And the why of the rituals has gone away.
That's the problem.
Second thing is, nobody explains that how to do the rituals. If you want to gain some benefit from the rituals, then in what posture do you do the rituals that you gain some benefit from the rituals?
Or if there is a valid reason for doing those rituals.
So, and then what has happened is that religion is also a blank check. You can write any amount you want on it. I tell you in your horoscope this is wrong for you, then you're going to pay me anything to get rid of that. Right? So it is a blank check. Now this has then brought about a whole multitude of rituals which absolutely have no meaning at all. It's just the greed of man. So, then in all this we have to find our way. Yes.
Today a friend and I were talking about the secrets of the universe, the secrets of the Vedas and so on. And she mentioned something which is very interesting. She says, in all the secret societies of healing, so many things were hidden. And the sad thing is, because they've been hidden or not well spoken of, so many people have lost the opportunity to know something. And that is why we are so much poorer for it. Like this is an example about the cotton wool in the nose. It's such a wonderful thing because I know so many people who suffer from migraine. And just by being able to use that, they may alleviate that problem. But there have to be many books that we've read of, translated into English, which would give us some idea of this. And many people don't live in India, and outside India, they're still interested in all this. And it's so secretive, one doesn't know anything about it. Until just by accident or by chance, we come across someone who can give a really good explanation.
Not accident.
No, it's just that everything is by accident and not yesterday. I've been paying attention.
We live under the law of accident. the wind blows this way, we go that way. If the wind blows this way, we go that way. It's the law of action. But sometimes some meetings are not excellent. There is that point in time when the inner soul cries out. The soul cries out. And that is yoga. There is a meeting. Yoga means to meet. So, the second thing is that, you see, you have to go back in time when all these sciences, it was a period in the Indian history which was like a golden period. And all this was between master and his disciple. And it was not that the master didn't want to give it out because of competition. Like if I'm a company making something, then I don't want my competitor to know how I'm making. It wasn't like that. But they were very, very clear, it should not be given unless the person is ready for it.
So I understand that and I respect it. But what happens that now over a period of time, these schools are no longer existent.
Yeah, because they get lost. Because then there's no one ready for it.
Yes.
And then those in whose hands it has been given, they are not able to see the truth in it. So they just pass it down in some form and then it goes in some form or the other. And it gets, what you call, sort of spoiled. Yeah, diluted.
We can ask you one last thing.
Yeah, you can ask. See, everybody has to sit here because of you, but I don't know if you can.
In the Philippines, they use a mantra for psychic healing. And I don't, you explain the word Kevalam the other day, but it goes like this: Om Nam Kevalam. Om Baba Nam Kevalam. Okay. So, Om is the first sound of which all creation works for. Baba, I would accept that as the universal father or the divine figure, with both in way, negative, positive, negative, whatever. And the Namo Padam.
It's good, eh? What are you asking?
Can you just give me a brief meaning of the word Namo? Because I asked somebody today, and then she said to me, say Namah Shivaya and Namo Narayana or something, and we understood the context and I couldn't understand.
It's actually not Namo. It's Ramo. We don't have it in English. It is a Sanskrit word which is called Ana. It's a U with a line like this. It's called Ra. It's not Namo, it's Ramo. So you don't say Namo. The Jains have a mantra. Ramo Riyantaro. Right? It's Ramo. Now when where have you put me into this?
And so that has been my
No, don't go into it. Don't go into it. Don't go into it.
Okay.
Don't go into it. You've heard of water. You know what is water mining? What is water mining, you know? Yeah, but what is it? What does it do? See, the earth has a layer of water in it. And we drill for that water. And we take out that water, and that water is never going to go back unless the earth has a big earthquake or something. It is called water mining. Similarly, within ourselves we have minor centers and major centers. It's called the 49 Marutkar, 49 Marut. These are the 49 fires within the body. 28 minor, 21 major. Now, when I'm doing any kind of this psychic healing, whether it is Reiki or pranic healing, whatever, I'm water mining in my own center. Don't for a single second think that those cosmic energy is flowing and all that. I'm water mining in my own center. So I'm depleting some energy in the body which is not going to be easily replaced. It takes a Christ to go to the Garden of Gethsemane and try to replace that. His disciples, poor Christ, his disciples were sleeping at that time. He couldn't replace it. So don't go for all these practices. Psychic healing. Right? Have a good wish, do the Omkar, do the Ukar, leave it at that. Leave it in the divine mind. If that person has to be healed, he'll be healed. Give your good wishes. But don't go to him and say, I put my hand over you and I do this mudra and I heal you and I do this. Don't do that. You are water mining. You are losing very, very powerful energy, and a point will come when at some time you will need that energy and it won't be there. It's gone forever. You are tapping into those centers of the body. All this is very, very unscientific.
That's why energy healers get very tired after working with their patient.
If you heal somebody, why should you get tired? See, in rare cases it can be done. I have seen cancer being cured. I have seen miracles being done, but in rare cases it can be done. If the Guru feels that this disciple has some potency and just by living a few more years, but don't get into all that. It's not for us. Because you're depleting major centers of energy in the body which are lying there absolutely untouched. Use the Omkar, that is why I taught the Omkar. Give good wishes to somebody through the Omkar, it will have good effect. But don't call somebody, okay, I'm putting my hand on you and healing you or something.
I've been doing, I've enrolled at university years ago to do a psychology degree. So I always just, I haven't done anything for a long time. So I've been thinking of getting back into my studies again. And then I've been reading some unorthodox ways of healing. And so that is why I'm curious.
Don't do it in that way. If you want to do it, then have a group of friends. Put that person there and all of you all sing for him. That's all. You hold hands and you sing, or whatever sloks or whatever you want to do. In Christian Science they do lovely singing and all that you do. But don't get into this putting the hand and Reiki and pranic healing and all that. They're all half sciences. They're all half sciences. They're all water mining. About what?
Removing so much of energy, depleting energy.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. There are techniques of tapping into untold sources of energy that nobody knows. All this is a lost science. So don't get into all that.
What I noticed complaining now that I'm asking a question that's embarrassing her, but there's so much in the world that's being done and made known of now, and people are getting involved with all this, and if we don't ask questions to someone who can give us a possible answer, we'll never ever know.
Yeah, but maybe, somebody has prompted the doctor to say something. There's a time and place for everything. See, I don't want to come into a situation where I'm criticizing something.
No, I understand, but there's a matter of safety involved, and I quite agree with what you say. I should not go where I don't know. And that's what happens when one becomes curious. One searches for something and looks, and you may just find something dangerous. And so now I will back up.
Curiosity killed the cat, but the cat has 9 lives. Okay, I think this. Okay, sorry. Yes.
Rajen bhai, you said you do conduct camps for youth at certain times in a year. Will there be any chance that some South Africans and Capetonians can be part of that camp?
See, one I'm having around 29th of May. But what I would suggest is I have one at Diwali time, and that is on the Narmada. And then the youngsters in that group, they say again we want to meet at Christmas. And for 2-3 days we meet at Christmas holidays. And about 30-40 youngsters come for that camp, not all the children. And then there are very intensive talks in those 2-3 days, because they don't like here, they just make me sit for hours and we keep on talking about so many things and how to practice them and all that. So if you really feel like, then we can think about it in that time. But you see, that group has been with me for many years, since they were kids. I've been taking these camps for many years. And they are really into this. So they'll be asking questions like, in self-observation, this happened, when we are observing our anger, this is what is happening. You know. So they'll be talking about all this. Sure. Yes.
Previous lady asked about the Arya Samaj.
Yes.
And there are 2 excellent books available in South Africa. One is in Gujarati called Satyartha Prakash by Nyan Saraswati. And the English one is The Light of Truth, also by the same author.
Right.
It's available.
I have not read any of it, so I can't comment on that. Only whatever I know about the Arya Samaj is what we learned in school. But let us come to a thing where we don't need any label. Just spirituality is a science. Let's understand the science and move. Why do we need a label? The label is good because we can meet here. So we use it for whatever purpose it is. But move ahead above all the labels. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna. Good night.